Okay, I wasn't expecting a lolly goblin assassin to show up out of nowhere. That just completely came out of left field. I'm like, who the hell is this person? Where did she come from? Totally goofy. But yes, episode 55 of Reincarnated Slime, pretty decent episode. I will admit that a lot of the episode just felt like it's just kind of rehashing what we already know. Everything that Rimuru has established for the humans and monsters. Hinata is suddenly discovering it. Oh wow, yeah, they're making nice cities. Oh yeah, he's been doing some great stuff. Yeah, this guy's pretty darn smart. This is all really cool, and it seems like he is for sure trying to establish this connection. I like that at some point she sort of realizes that while they're spending all their time fighting the monsters, it seems like Rimuru has figured something out that they never figured out. How to coexist. Yeah, we've always been worried about fighting, killing them, and then Rimuru just shows up out of nowhere, and suddenly they're at peace. This is a kind of a nice thing. Like, this is actually better than the idea of fighting them all the time. So it seems like there is a little bit of a conflict here. And yes, that sort of goes against what sort of the church and this group has sort of established. Again, the anti-monster sort of establishment they've sort of created. Which again is technically not really to what Luminous is doing. It seems like, based on what little I know of her, it doesn't seem like that's really like the end game is to kill all monsters. It's just, that's the way to protect the people. And yes, as we kind of realize, Luminous is all about just sort of making sure that her people are, good and happy, and that produces a better, resource for them. So it does make sense that Luminous wouldn't really be for the idea of killing the monsters if Rimuru can make sure they're all happy and coexisting. So it sort of, lines up with each other. But yeah, obviously this episode also pretty well establishes what's going to happen next episode. Like, I can already see what's going to happen next episode. It's going to open up with Hinata being like, what the hell was that letter about? Rimuru's like, yeah, did you get it? I wanted to talk. And then Hinata's like, no, you said that you want to fight. Oh, no, that's not what that said. Why would you get that letter? I didn't send that. And then Hinata's going to figure it out. Hinata already knows that somebody, especially, the luminaries, they're sort of manipulating things. She knows that. So she's probably going to pick up really quickly that, oh yeah, they probably created that message. So what I think is going to happen is, yeah, you're going to have them like figure out that that's a misunderstanding. I like how literally the next episode is called Misunderstandings. They're going to create that misunderstanding. She's going to realize it's a misunderstanding. And then out of nowhere, Renner's going to show up, attack. And then Hinata's going to be like, stop, we're trying to talk here. Oh, so the luminaries are right. You're going against us. And it's going to turn some stupid thing. It's fine. At least they're being pretty clear about it, that it's going to happen. That way it's not like a shock. I mean, I was also kind of surprised because there was a side of me that during this episode, I was starting to think that maybe the 7 luminaries, which I don't know why suddenly the subtitles has decided to call them the 7 days clergy now. They might be both. Maybe Renard, they call them the 7 days clergy, and I don't know, maybe Hinata knows them as the 7 luminaries. I don't know, same thing. But no, I for a minute there I was thinking that maybe the 7 luminaries were being controlled by Rozo, because remember, Rozo in the previous episode was establishing that they have these shadow something to cause a conflict, but the person they were talking about, which is to cause Sare and the other one to go into action, aren't there. So I'm assuming that's something elsewhere. So it kind of makes me feel like there's like 4 different parties at play right now. The Rozo family, the 7 luminaries, and then Rimuru and Hinata, and then, well, I guess technically the other Crusaders. So it's an interesting kind of setup. Again, it's one of those aspects of not making it too easy, I guess. Too easy to just kind of chill everybody out. And I think that kind of sucks to reverse against what Hinata's realized now. And I think that's going to help her sort of see through the misunderstanding, because Hinata in first person has, and all the people that were with her, have discovered what great things Rimuru has done. Whereas everybody else is kind of just flooding in and attacking. They're coming from off the roads where all the stuff that Rimuru has established and the peace that he's established aren't seen. Hinata's seen it because she went through it. But yeah, it was a kind of a cool little introduction, her coming through there. We get to find out, yes, it seems like they didn't want her to go alone. They pulled straws, and only certain one of them got to go. They didn't want her to go by herself. They seen that she was equipped to die, basically. She's going to her final battle, and they're not going to let her go alone, despite the fact that she wants to talk. There could be peace. But yeah, then additionally going through Balmond, and then going through the streets, figuring out, wow, this stuff's incredible. What he's done. And yes, she's got to discover that he made ramen. That's the big key thing there. Not the happiness of the people, not the equipment shop, ramen. It's such a Japanese isekai. Like, if it's an isekai story, for some reason there's an obsession with things like ramen and things like rice. They don't care about anything else, the niceties that you can bring the world. It's ramen. It's rice. Those are the big things that you have to take in mind. But yeah, she was enjoying that a lot. But that was kind of cute. And then all the rest stops on the way. And again, establishing that Hinata's realizing he did what we couldn't do. We've been so focused in this new world of beating up the nasty monsters that keep threatening people. And here, Remenu, same thing, he's an isekai too. He's done something much more incredible and actually created that peace. He's so focused on actually having them live side by side. Noticing the guy off the side trying to help this monster. Yeah, he's done it. He's doing this. He's figured it out. He's much more smart, more talented at kind of figuring this stuff out than even we were. So it's a cool little kind of realization for her. But yeah, eventually going to there, we had, again, over here, I think the more intriguing part, I guess, of the episode is obviously Renard, which, as much as I absolutely detest the misunderstandings that he's kind of creating, but he's being confronted by the seven luminaries, explaining why he's decided to take an entire group of crusaders on his own, despite what Hinata said. And that's the luminaries basically trying to prod him into action. Claim that, yes, for some reason, Hinata's definitely turned against us. Definitely working for Rimuru. They fought once before. He probably, tricked her, made her believe in him. And now she's working with Rimuru against us. She's working for the Demon Lord. Oh, but no, Veldora was there. Nope, Veldora, that's probably all in ruse. Which it is kind of one of those kind of side effects to sort of what they've been breadcrumbing, which I do kind of acknowledge is pretty clever writing, is that the writer and the adaptation as well has been establishing for a while now this idea that they're bringing down the level of the magicules, or what they call them. They're bringing down this density of the magic, and that's through these barriers. It's through absorbing them to crystals. It's through not having Veldora release his energy, even though he really badly wants to. They're kind of flagging all these things to establish that, yes, they've kind of lowered the density of the magic in the area, and that works to the luminaries' favor, the seven luminaries' favor, because now they're going, yeah, there's not much magic there. This whole thing about Veldora's got to be a lie. And sure enough, when Renard gets there, oh my gosh, yeah, the density of magic's really low. There's no way Veldora can be here. That's got to be all a lie. So obviously, Rimuru is talking lies. He's been deceiving everybody. And yes, he's now deceiving Hinata. It gives him that little bit of extra confirmation. The seven luminaries, as much as they're just kind of the puppeteers in the background, it makes sense. And again, like, to my prediction is I think those seven luminaries want Hinata dead because Hinata has used her ability on them and possibly either stolen power from them or at least put herself above them. And that could be enough either way that they'd want her dead. So that's why they're trying to send her to her death. So interesting stuff. And again, I think the whole idea here is to not so much that they think that Renard can defeat her because they're claiming that she's betrayed them, but more so the idea that they just want to cause a conflict to force her hand to have to fight Rimuru, to have to fight Veldora, to have to die. And we'll see if it plays out the way they want. Again, I think it's for sure going to end up with Renard probably fighting against Hinata and going, oh, so they were right all along. You're definitely against us. How dare you? You've betrayed us. How dare you be with that demon lord? All that kind of stuff. Yeah, seeing the Yomi in action was pretty cool too. This is like literally they just can't die. They just keep kind of getting injured and then healing themselves up, and the Crusaders don't even know what to do with them. Shion over there, she's super happy with her group and her Kurenai. She thinks that's just the greatest thing ever. They're putting everybody to sleep. I thought it was kind of annoying that despite the fact that Hinata came there and looked down, she didn't note all the Crusaders that are tied off to the side, not dead. I think that would be kind of a thing that she should have noted. Like, oh, here's a big pile of bodies over here. Oh, they look like they're tied up. Oh, they look like they're asleep or whatever. They're not dead. That's a good sign that Rimuru is not trying to kill them. So I thought that was kind of a weird miss they decided to have there, is not recognize that there's no death happening. And she did acknowledge that they're losing. The Crusaders are losing against all these guys, but at the same time not acknowledging that they're not dying. They're not killing them. They're just, tying them up. They're capturing them, not trying to murder them. Despite the fact that they are literally in their region and attacking their people, it gives them all the right to defend themselves and kill them. What's so funny is how this is building up with, like, again, Hinata technically going there, the seven luminaries trying to manipulate people, including manipulating Renard, with Renard going there, with all this stuff happening, the battle sages over here, with all this stuff happening, it just has me all just, like, curious the moment they all return back home. And I really want, I don't know, maybe possibly, I have a prediction that I'm curious if at some point Luminous herself is going to show up there. She's going to show up there and be like, What the hell are you guys doing? I told you specifically, Hinata, did you not get the message across? I told you specifically not to do this. Which I don't think will happen because it's sort of established at this point that the only person that is communicating directly to Luminous is obviously Hinata. So I don't see her showing up, but there's like a side of me that thinks that she might do that anyways, just because she's going to be so ticked off that they're not following her instructions to not start a fight with these guys. But that's kind of my curious oddity there, that I'm curious if at some point she'll show up, or if when they go back, Hinata's going to have to tell her, and she's like, why the hell they do that? Fire every single one of them, kick them all out. Anyways, it looks like things are ramping up. Looks like next episode is going to be pretty interesting. Hopefully it doesn't spend like, I don't know, it's probably going to spend half the episode having Hinata and Rimuru just sit there and talk. It's going to be like another meeting. I did get a kick out of the fact that the moment they went to that rest stop, I'm like, oh no, we're going to have another meeting. Here we go. The meetings are still here. But no, it wasn't that bad. Anyhow, that's my thoughts on episode 55 of Reincarnated Slime. Hope you guys enjoyed this video as always. If you did, make sure that like button down below, comment, let me know what's all the episode. Additionally, if you're new to the channel, make sure that subscribe button to get my content. I do news, reviews, first impressions, top lists. If it's anime, it's pretty much here. Additionally, if you like this content and you want to support the channel more, I have a Patreon link, tips link, soup links, membership button down below. Greatly appreciate it, it does. And y'all take care.